Thank you so much, and please let us know if there are some issues with the sound. And also, we're placed in different countries today, in Norway and Spain, so that's how it goes. Great to see you all. So, in Motitech, we are adamant to base everything we do on the principle that all humans are equally valuable, independent of age or functional levels. And this is fundamental for everything we do, and it's also the basis for the inspiration for what we see in our community. Many of the age-related disorders are created by inactivity more than age itself, as we already have heard today. And too many people spend their time, unfortunately, sitting still when coming into care facilities and aged care. And this leads, obviously, as we have seen today already, to a rapid health decline. And the city of Bergen realized this problem. So in 2012, they wanted to do something about this. They launched a project where they wanted to stimulate to increased physical activity, focusing on those living in long-term care, and especially people with dementia. And they wanted to see whether the increased physical activity would affect the behavior and psychological symptoms in relation to dementia. So they bought 40 indoor exercise bikes for the people to use. And then they acknowledge that people are people, no matter the age. So motivation obviously plays a key part when trying to be physically active, as it would for all of us.
Good, yeah. And our film team at that moment was invited to create a video concept around for the project. So 4 local videos from familiar places were created and 5 institutions took part in the project. They did a 24/7 registration of behavior for the persons involved, and they did this for 1 month without the cycling and then 2 months with the cycling. And these are some of the findings that the city of Bergen shared with us. As you see, there was just benefits both on the physical side with appetite, increase in appetite, sleep, mobility, also saw a reduction in terms of falls, overweight, pains. They also saw, quite surprising, they didn't expect it, but also great benefits on the mental side with the reminiscence, the self-efficacy, the contentment, and so on. They also actually saw the aggressive behavior was actually eliminated due to the project. They also saw the social benefits both on the residents, people involved, but also in staff and also around relatives, as we also heard from previous talks. And I want to tell you a story from the project. We hear a lot of stories coming in from the residents, staff, and family members. So a woman of 75 living at Kolstihagen care home in Bergen had experienced a double hip fracture. And the doctor, they gave her no hope of rehabilitation. She was in pain and she didn't understand or want to do the exercise and rehabilitation program that they set for her. But by being introduced to Mottiview and watching the videos from the Mottiview system, she forgot about that pain for a while, and the accelerating on the bike took her legs into activity. And little by little, the blood circulation increased and she began to heal. And after a while, she regained enough strength that she was able to use the bike on active, so not using the engine anymore. And eventually, this woman was rehabilitated and regained the ability to walk without the need of any gait aids, even though the doctor initially gave her no hope of that.
And during a demonstration of Mottiview at one of the care homes in the east of Norway, there was a resident living there with dementia, and he was walking uneasily about. He was in search for his room. After the demonstration was done, some of the residents were invited to try out Mottiview, and he was one of them. So he was placed in front of the bike, and he was originally from another city, the city of Trondheim, in another part of the country. So they found a video from his hometown and put it on. And from the first minute, he started to guiding the people sitting around him with a clear voice and confidence from street to street, with the names of the buildings, the statues and the streets and all that. And there was a man sitting next to him, and he actually started crying. And he said, "This is my friend. We grew up together. I would never be able to guide you through the streets of Trondheim as he just did." And then after this session, he got up again and started again to search for his room. But it showed that there was a moment that was really inspiring for him and also for the people around him by sharing his memories from his past. And based on the project's success, Motitech launched this video and cycling concept under the name Mottiview, with the purpose of increasing the quality of life through these three pillars: the physical activity, social connectedness, and reminiscence. And they're strongly tied together, of course. So we now want to show you a video for what this could look like.
She tells you about somewhere else she's been.
California,
Switzerland,
Singapore,
Rome,
Israel.
This is Jean. Come park the bottom here. Let's pop you in. All right, my love. Okay. We're going to go to Hong Kong today. How about Italy?
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
Right, we're off. Okay.
I come up here to do 30 minutes and they put the film on, and each time I try and do more. I want to tell the people to get out of the way. We're coming.
When coming into a care home, typically people become very inactive. The inactivity would be the reason for rapid health decline, more than actual age itself.
Judith, make sure he behaves himself now, sat on this bike.
A piece of technology like this will really help in terms of exercise, so exercise is generally going to be good for keeping your limbs moving.
It's been really extraordinary to see my mother change, because 3 years ago she was pretty much bedridden, and to see her now exercising on a daily basis like this is extraordinary.
I was in a wheelchair at one point, then I graduated to walker. The next thing it'd been the marathon.
What really makes this different is that the videos in front of the bike is actually the key here. We build a video library, almost like a Netflix model, so people could choose go traveling, or they could find their local memories.
I'm seeing places that I should never go to, which makes it even more interesting.
You can visit places where they were born, places they might have visited as a child, and obviously then they engage in a conversation.
This is really important for a resident with dementia, being able to go back in memories, revisiting places.
The cycling initiative created by Motitech is a great piece of technology that helps those with dementia.
What do you remember about Mottiford?
It was really rather nice, actually.
Yeah, lovely beach.
Yes.
When I met Anne, she was a very, very scared lady. Not great at making friends. So when we introduced Anne to the bike, it was like seeing a different lady. Did you ever used to walk down this road? Did you? Such a massive change in her confidence. She just can't wait to get down here and then mix with the other residents as well, which 3 months ago I would never have believed.
Oh, well done. We've reached the pub, Anne.
Even residents that I thought would never ever dream of getting on this bike are actually enjoying it, which is fabulous.
This is keeping me in trim, but I haven't done much today at all. Been chatting too much.
Should get the presentation up and running again. Thank you. Yes. So we see that by increasing physical activity, reminiscence, and social connectedness, we can enrich the lives of older people and people with dementia. And we do this by focusing on abilities instead of disabilities. As of today, around 16,000 older people at 800 care facilities, that is care homes, adult daycare centers, and so on, are currently benefiting from Mottiview. And our cyclists come from all over the world, from the Nordics to the UK, Israel, Switzerland, and all the way to Canada, Australia, and Singapore. And we want to build a global community for our users, our care providers, governmental bodies, and other partners who share our vision, because we truly believe that together we can make a change. So what about Mottiview itself? Of course, the focus on the system, the entire system, is the users and their experiences when using it. And for every new customer, we travel there and create a local video in cooperation with them, because we deem it important that the users can exercise while watching videos from familiar places where they have the memories. But for the same reason, we also include access to an entire video library, because we never know where they might have the memories from or what might trigger them to do the exercise. Today, a video library consists of more than 2,200 videos for 40 countries. And the number of videos are growing each year by several hundreds. And we also have currently nearly 250 videos from England alone, and we are continuously creating more. We also have music added to the videos, optional music soundtracks that is created together with a musical therapist. So you can choose from 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s playlists, but also have the ambient sound on it.
And our vision is a lot bigger than just selling a product. We really want to be a part of changing the game in social care. And we love working together with people that we've seen here today, with NAPA and the NCF and a lot of organizations around wherever we go, because we see that this is something that we need to work together. It needs to be collaborative for us to succeed in this space. And we're currently working together with the City of London through the London ADAS and other places in the UK in terms of building this community and helping each other to move on with this alliance. So these are some of the things we see with regards to the journey we've been on and what is needed to be successful in implementing initiatives like this. It's really important that everyone takes ownership. Top-level management, everyone through the organization needs to be a part of this. It needs to be a cooperation across the areas of expertise and interdisciplinary effort. It needs to be worked into the daily routine. It needs to be, we need to be creative with regards to initiatives. So some people like, say, they find a video from Spain and then they have tapas made as dinner from the kitchen. So there are so many things we could do with that. And obviously, the staff is the crucial support team around the cyclists. Sometimes there happens a very special thing. And a couple of years ago, William and Kate were visiting Norway, so they got to try out Mottiview as a part of their trip, which was really interesting. Because we then had them trying out a video from Scotland, from St. Andrews, where they met and studied. So they quickly got into the reminiscence of things. And we saw interesting moments like this, where they were pointing and saying, "Oh, you filmed my room," and things like that. So they got the same treatment as everyone using Mottiview does. So we could call that a royal treatment, really, after this.
In 2017, we started a project together with Sport England, so funded by the Sport England's Activating Fund to tackle inactivity in care facilities. And the project was based on two beliefs: that with the right motivation, we can reduce inactivity, and also that support and supporters of the cyclists are crucial for this to be a success. So around 450 participants were signed up. This data that we're sharing today is based on 220 participants completing the program, including the service. And across all residents, the average time spent on Mottiview cycling was 90 minutes per week. And during the baseline for this was a 3 months intervention. During the baseline, we saw that nearly almost 1 out of 400 were considered to be moderate physical active at start. 51% were active each week of the trial, this is the mean, and 24% came above the threshold of doing moderately physical activity each week, according to the Chief Medical Officer guidelines. Several sites, of course, started afterwards with equipment and continued using Mottiview, which we see is great. We also used the EQ5D5L as an international standardized test to look at things like pain discomforts, anxiety, depression, and so on. And just based on 3 months of using Mottiview, we saw a significant reduction, 9% in pain discomfort, a 12% reduction in anxiety and depression. Further, we also saw an increase of 8% in mobility, 10% increase in usual activities, so not just around the cycling, but in general for the residents, 77% increase in self-care, and also due to the EQ5D, there's a score of general state of health, and this was increased just 3 months with Mottiview of 14%. Of course, also it's important, as we talked about previously in many talks, the staff work environments. We also looked at this for projects and also around in base of the roles for seniors. So if you see here, there was an increase, a shift in terms of motivation, the confidence to facilitate for physical activity, as we've seen as key, and also an increase in the general job satisfaction for the staff involved.
In 2017, something really special happened. The professional cycling championships from the UCI were in Bergen, so we thought we need to do something about that. And we created the first Road Worlds for seniors. We've done this every year since, each September, and everyone with a Mottiview license are free to take part in this. And we crown the champions for men and for women, the best team and the best support team. And all contestants get their own medals. So this year we had the 5th championship, and we're going to get back to some of the results from that. We have a global alliance of supporters that we're really proud of with this. And we're now going to show you some glimpses from the championship so you can experience some of the joy that come through this.
Have you seen the wording on the front of your t-shirt? No. Pedal on, man, pedal on.
I was 100 in November, so I'm 100 and a half. I think it's a damn good idea. It's exercise and it's good for you. You know, otherwise what would people do? You know, they don't go out walking so much, but when they sit on here and get exercise, it makes it more interesting.
We entered the Road World for Seniors last year and we came 13th. And the atmosphere was amazing. The residents wore t-shirts and caps and got into the spirit of it. It's one of the best things we've ever done. The residents love it, staff love it. It's amazing.
It's not just the physical outcomes, it's much more than that. What I found absolutely fantastic is the videos and the sceneries that people can engage with and the music that's playing, so there's multi-sensory elements to it that will help anybody engage and generate some benefit.
We're really passionate about everybody having the opportunity to be physically active across all stages of their lives, and we saw working with Motitech as being a really innovative way of doing that, and particularly the Road Worlds for Seniors.
We're going back to the presentation. Thank you. Yeah, so as Stian said, this year was the 5th time we did the Road Worlds for Seniors, and all records were broken. But you see, more than 5,000 cyclists registered for the event, distributed on 260 teams from 11 countries. During the 4-week championship, they cycled a whopping 156,403 kilometers. That is 4 times around the globe. And we are just blown away by this. And it's definitely proven that there is so much potential amongst our seniors that should be unleashed. We are adamant to give more seniors the ability to partake in Road Worlds for Seniors and using Mottiview, helping them to break out of loneliness and social isolation and to improve their physical health and to have fun while doing it. The Road Worlds for Seniors has experienced a high and increasing coverage both in media and social media channels. And just back in 2020, even alone generated nearly 100 media stories, both before, during, and after competition, including over 10 stories in the UK alone. So one of these stories was from The Guardian, and more will come. And this is just because we are adamant to show the potential that is there. As we say, we want to focus on the abilities instead of disabilities, and I think this proves it.
So why do we do this? Why do we do the Road Worlds for Seniors? Is again, like we have said now, we want to focus on the physical activity, the positive benefits it can bring, and also on the mental and social well-being as part of this. And not least, we wanted to create a fun and inspiring event that could boost the energy while doing these activities. And it's an event for the cyclists, but it's also for the relatives, for staff, and for everyone in the community. And we have this saying that this is a part of turning older people and people with dementia into dedicated athletes. And I think we could see that in the videos as well. And we see this every year. And yes, we have to admit we did have several cases of doping during the championship. However, this championship is of a nature that when you're taking part and being physically active, the amount of medication needed will actually go down and being reduced instead of the opposite. So that is also a great impact from this. So that is all we had to share today. We are thrilled to be here and to present these happy news to all of you. And we would love to have a chat with anyone who would be interested in talking more. And I'm sure there are questions as well to be answered at some point. Thank you.